Welcome, age of vintage society. People have called Bob Hope the entertainer of the 20th century, and he was no less than a titan of old Hollywood. Bob Hope entertained members of the American military all over the world and made many appearances to benefit different charities. How Bob Hope helped 15 million suffering Americans. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. Bob Hope, America's entertainer. Perhaps no other person in the history of the entertainment industry has travelled so far tirelessly across the globe to entertain servicemen at war other than Bob Hope. The media named him America's #1 soldier in grease paint, and the US Congress conferred him the title of the first and only honorary veteran of the US Armed Forces. He was most noted for his shows that entertained the American military personnel and boosted their morale at time of war. All through the World War II, his radio shows were performed and aired from military bases and combat areas. One of the most recognised talents in the world, Hope performed on Broadway, movies, and went on tours with the US military. Bob Hope was the star of the radio, stage and screen, not to mention a man who once played third billing to Siamese twins and trained SEALs, had a really soft spot for US troops, especially those who deployed to combat zones. It's an amazing thing, especially considering that he was British. He was known for his fast wit and great humour. In a career that spanned over 60 years, Hope received over 2,000 honours and awards. That includes 54 honorary doctorates. He appeared in more than 70 films and hosted the Academy Awards 14 times. Apart from being the king of all media, Hope was also an ardent golfer, a boxer, and a baseball player. Long before Hope reached his greatest fame, the Milwaukee Journal stated that Hope had undoubtedly been the source of more news and more newspaper feature stories than any other entertainer in modern history. He had a hopeless childhood. Born in Eltham, England on May 30th, 1903, Leslie Towns Hope was one of 7 surviving boys. His father, William Henry Hope, was a stonemason who moved to the United States with hopes of finding employment. Hope's mother, Avis Towns Hope, had been a concert singer. By the age of 4 he was a skilled mimic and loved to sing and dance. In 1908 Hope's family moved from England to Cleveland, Ohio. Hope's father, Harry, was a hard-drinking stonemason whose income was irregular. In Cleveland the family struggled financially as they had in England, and Avis took in boarders to supplement William's erratic income. Avis, an amateur musician, taught singing to Leslie, an outgoing boy who entertained his family with singing, impersonations and dancing. For Hope, who looked and sounded British, the Americanization process was difficult. The Cleveland neighbourhood in which he lived was tough, and the neighbourhood kids made fun of him. They inverted his name, Leslie Hope, to create the nickname Hopelessly. When he shortened his name to Les, they countered with another nickname, Hopeless. Hope was a scrappy kid, and to ward off the ridicule he fought easily and sometimes successfully, developing into a boxer of some skill. As a youth, Hope sold 2-cent newspapers on the streets to supplement his family's income. On one occasion, a gentleman in a long black limousine waited while Hope, who did not have change for a dime, rushed into a nearby store to get change. When he returned, he received a lecture about the importance of keeping change in order to take advantage of all business opportunities. The man was oil magnate John D. Rockefeller, founder of Standard Oil Company. By the age of 12, he started earning his pocket money by singing, dancing and performing comedy, and he also won a prize for his impersonation of comic legend Charlie Chaplin. After dropping out of school at the age of 16, Leslie worked at a number of part-time jobs. He boxed for a short time under the name of Packy East, but changed his name officially to Lester Hope. Lester's interest in entertainment and show business, cultivated by his mother, led him to take dancing lessons and seek employment as a variety stage entertainer. Not until he had achieved considerable success on the stage did he begin using the name Bob Hope. As a teenager, Hope once boasted that he would rather be an actor than hold an honest job, and he participated in all kinds of school and amateur training groups, specialising in dancing and in the one-liner jokes for which he ultimately became famous. He gained a great deal of experience in an act Hope formed with a comedian named George Byrne. Adopting the name Lester, Hope went with Byrne to New York City in 1926. He and Byrne performed in cities and towns outside New York City and finally appeared in a New York City vaudeville production called Sidewalks. They were fired within a month, however, because the show was a success and did not need the short dancing act that Hope and Byrne performed. Hope got his first trial as a solo act at Chicago's Stratford Theatre in 1928. For this solo appearance he changed his name to Bob because he felt that would be chummier and look better on a theatre marquee. In solo appearances, Hope always made his audience feel at ease and comfortable with his self-deprecating humour. He worked desperately hard and succeeded, but soon left the Stratford to tour Midwestern cities. From 1920 to 1937, Hope performed in all kinds of shows in vaudeville, both on and off Broadway. Vaudeville was hard work for Hope. A typical show consisted of comedians running a patter of one-liners around various kinds of variety acts, ranging from dancing dogs to sword swallowers, but featuring mainly dancing. Hope is considered a master of the one-liner. In later years, Hope sometimes employed up to 3 joke writers at a time. One standard line when he boards an airplane is, "I knew it was an old plane when I found Lindbergh's lunch on the seat." He used a line in 1970 when he met the English royal family. "I've never seen so much royalty. It looks like a chess game. Live." In 1932, when 15 million Americans suffered the joblessness of the Great Depression, Hope was earning $1,000 a week in his particular kind of vaudeville act. But he was not satisfied. Hope was always ambitious and wanted to improve. He yearned, as he said, to be the best, to be the outstanding comic in the business. Hope met actor and singer Bing Crosby in 1932. They liked each other immediately because their personalities and styles of acting fitted well, and they started performing together in song and dance routines. Hope met aspiring actress Dolores Reed in 1933 and later married her. Already well established as a comedian by 1935, Hope that year joined the Ziegfeld Follies and performed in cities outside New York. Then on January 30th, 1936, he opened in the Follies at New York City's Winter Garden Theatre, with such stars as Fanny Brice and Eve Arden. The Ziegfeld Follies was a new vaudeville high for Hope. The show was the musical highlight of Broadway, consisting of dazzlingly beautiful girls and costumes, witty lines between the actors and actresses, and music by such great composers as Vernon Duke and Ira Gershwin. During his years in vaudeville, Hope was on the stage with such actors as Jimmy Durante, Ethel Merman, Edgar Bergen, and Charlie McCarthy, Al Jolson, and many others. Although Hope had acted in some short motion picture comedies as early as 1934, he began his feature-length movie career in Hollywood in 1938, with the Paramount film The Big Broadcast of 1938, starring Hope, W.C. Fields, Martha Raye, Dorothy Lamour, and Shirley Ross. This was the beginning of an active career in film entertainment for Hope, who went on to appear in 52 movies. 6 of these comprised the Road to series featuring Hope, Crosby, and Dorothy Lamour. Hope has always been fiercely patriotic about his adopted country. On December 7, 1941, when Japanese attack planes bombed the American naval installation in Hawaii's Pearl Harbor, thereby provoking US participation in the Second World War, Hope denounced the attack. On December 16th, during a radio broadcast, Hope declared his patriotism and voiced optimism about the outcome of the war. There is no need to tell a nation to keep smiling when it's never stopped. It is that ability to laugh that makes us the great people that we are, Americans. For more than 50 years, the one-man morale machine spent time away from his family and his comfortable Hollywood life to visit American troops during peacetime and at war. He spent exactly 48 Christmases with American troops overseas. He performed on Navy ships and Army bases, often close enough to hear the sounds of combat. To him, that didn't matter. His daughter Linda described Christmas at the Hope house. Dad was gone. Holidays for the Hope kids took on a new meaning. I remember saying, "Why does Dad always have to be away? All these other families have their dads home for Christmas," Linda said. But she was quick to add that Mom would put it in proper perspective for her. She said, "No, not all of them are home for Christmas. Think of boys and girls who don't have their dads for years and years because they are serving overseas. Remember the boys and girls whose fathers may never come back." His service to American troops added to Hope's established reputation for activity in the name of numerous charities and benefits, including political, cultural and humanitarian causes. In fact, at the Academy Awards on February 21, 1941, Hope was given an honorary award to pay tribute to a man who has devoted his time and energy to many causes. His unselfishness in playing countless benefits has earned him a unique position in a hectic community where his untiring efforts are deeply, profoundly appreciated. Hope has long been many Americans' favourite comedian, from the average radio listener and moviegoer to the rich and powerful. He often enjoyed a close relationship with the men serving as President of the United States. Since the administration of Franklin Roosevelt, Hope has appeared many times at the White House. Hope's 75th birthday party, held in the Washington Kennedy Center to honor the United Service Organization, USO, was attended by members of Congress and many of Hope's acting friends, including John Wayne, Elizabeth Taylor and George Burns. Hope can look back upon a life that has been full to the brim. One of his writers, Larry Klein, once said, "You know, if you had your life to live over again, you wouldn't have time to do it." Hope answered, "I wouldn't want to live it over again. It's been pretty exciting up to now. The encore might not be as much fun." Behind all Hope's humour is a serious core that directs his life, as evidenced by his efforts to help others less fortunate than himself. Some of his charitable activities involve golf benefits. A 12-stroke handicapper, Hope has played the game all his life, often joining presidents, Hollywood greats, and golf's immortals on the links. The Guinness Book of World Records called Hope the most honoured entertainer in the world. His daughter Linda Hope once said that of all the things for which Hope is known, he got the greatest pleasure by making audiences laugh. "Beneath it all, he had a real desire to be a good actor," she said, "but I think if it was a choice between getting a laugh or dealing in a more emotional way, he'd go for the laugh." In June 2000, Hope spent 6 days in the hospital because of internal bleeding. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new here, and if you want to support my work, please visit my Patreon page. Now it is your turn. What do you think about the unselfish life and legacy of Bob Hope? He was not hopeless anymore. He gave hope for many Americans, that time when it was the most needed.